Good afternoon, America. Welcome to Decision Making 2020. I guess there was a feller in Wisconsin this last night that made some bad decisions. Speaking of decision making, he decided to go over and straighten out a domestic dispute. What the family didn't tell him when he called was they had already called the police. So he comes over and gets in the way of the police. They're not going to have somebody stopping them from doing their job. So he becomes a person of interest. Then he becomes uncooperative. He's not following instructions. He's resisting arrest to the point where they feel they have to use non-lethal force on him. So they tase him. Well, that just makes him mad. Now he's going to get up and go get his gun out of his truck. When he couldn't reach it from the passenger side because it was under the driver's seat, he fought the police all the way around his truck to get in the driver's side to get his gun. And that's where they shot and killed him. Tragic, but they might have been doing the world a favor. 999 times out of a million. If you're not resisting arrest, you will not die. If you're not resisting arrest, you won't get tased. Now, when they tase you, you've already committed several felonies at this point. Doesn't anybody know resisting arrest is a felony? You can't say, I ignore the law and I ignore you to the police. That's not how life works. Only if you're a Democrat. Okay? I've been tossed around by the police. I've been abused by black and white police. Don't have no color in California. You get stopped by yourself and there's more than one cop. I broke the law, but I wasn't resisting, and I got beat half to death. Not crazy about the police in California. Don't think we should take them all off the job. I support the police. Been beat pretty good by a black officer in an elevator while I was wearing handcuffs. Now, I'm pretty sure I said some things I probably shouldn't have said to that black officer that was 6'9". But at that time, I was 22 and pretty stupid. I think I was voting Democrat back then. Go figure. Anyways, he shut my big fat mouth. I don't want to defund the police. Sensitivity training would be good. If they had sensitivity training in Minneapolis, George Floyd might still be alive. They might have been able to get him an ambulance and get him settled down quick enough to save his life. But if George Floyd had never talked to the police Monday evening, he was going to die. He had enough fentanyl in him to kill 3 people. So, yeah, he was a big guy. He's 6 foot something. But you don't take 12. Most people die with 3. He had 12 in his system. And so, there's 3 or 4 people there. He had enough in him to kill. He was going to die. He was ODing when the police got there. If you get a chance, watch the body cam, the full body cam. The 38 minutes, okay? The half hour leading up to his demise. He resisted arrest the whole time. Not one police officer put him on the ground. George Floyd went on the ground himself. He asked to go on the ground. He pleaded to go on the ground. He put himself on the ground. I watched him do it. Body cam. But the prosecuting attorney in Minneapolis didn't want that out. It was leaked. He said he's all for transparency unless it cost him a judgment. He wanted a conviction. He wanted this to be a racial deal. There's no racial thing here. There's no murder here. He died of an overdose. Died of a heart attack that was created from the excitement, talking to the police. Been to jail, been to prison 9 times. This ain't nothing new for him. It shouldn't have scared him to death. He was lit up with drugs, and they asked him several times, 2 or 3 times, what are you on? What are you taking? So I learned from watching that body cam 3 very clear lessons. Number 1, don't do fentanyl and methamphetamines, okay? Drugs aren't good for you. They'll kill you. Whether or not you talk to any cops or not. So he OD'd. Number 2, if you're taking drugs and you're talking to the cops, you better tell them so they get you an ambulance before you die. Don't lie to them. Number 3, do not resist arrest. If you resist arrest, you're going the hard way, but you're going to go. See? Don't nobody just kill all the cops on the scene and walk away and go home and have dinner. That's not how life works. Okay? Some people may think that. I think the guy in Wisconsin last night thought that. He could just get to his car, get his gun, kill all the cops, go home and have dinner. You see, people like that, I don't have a lot of pity for. I'm not going to break a window for. I'm not going to throw a rock for. I'm going to set nothing on fire. Don't need to go steal nothing. That's a Democrat thing. You're not going to find one Republican doing that, okay? You won't find one Republican that will convict the guy who kneeled on James or George Floyd's neck. And you're going to have a hard time finding half of the Democrats after they watch that film to convict him. And the prosecuting attorney knew that. He watched them burn down the whole country. They had fires in 35 cities one night. And he could have released that body cam and showed everybody that it wasn't the story he was perpetrating. But that didn't go along with his narrative. So now he needs to go to prison. He watched people burn down the country. Could have stopped it. Didn't. Yeah, he needs to be prosecuted. But then again, he's doing the same job that Amy Klobuchar was doing when that officer that kneeled on that George Floyd's neck came before her twice for excessive force charges, and she let him go both times. Didn't even prosecute. Yeah, that's your Democrats. Now, it's interesting because while I was out there, and I was out there, watched a great sermon Sunday morning from Andy Stanley when I rolled into town with my son-in-law, and it just warmed my heart the way that he was asking questions, and you could tell he was trying to grow spiritually. That's always makes me feel good. And the next day was Monday. That's when they killed George. And I watched them burn down to Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'd lived out there 37 years. I didn't need to go downtown. I knew where they were at. I knew what they were doing. It was all over the news. But about the second or third day when Joe Biden came out of his basement and started bailing people out of money that were looting and shooting and killing people and was endorsing the riots, you know, he's never said good with me since. I'm going to wrap this thing up, folks. I don't want it to go too long. Think about this. I just watched the entire DNC. Every single person up there endorsed Black Lives Matter. Not one single person endorsed the police. Not one single person called out the riots, talked about the violence, talked about Portland, talked about Seattle, the killings. Nobody mentioned Black Lives Matter have killed more black men than the police have since George Floyd. And they're killing babies too. They killed that little 5 or 6 year old down in Atlanta that was in the car because her mother was trying to get through a traffic jam that they'd put up and shot her baby dead. You know, Black Lives Matter and Antifa are both started, funded, and ran, approved by George Floyd. They are a cancer that needs to be put out. Most of them aren't even black. Most of them are just angry white kids that want to rebel. Let them rebel in a jail cell. Don't let them burn your town down. I saw something earlier this morning. It says that they've talked about totally defunding the police in Portland and they're resigning in mass numbers. I don't know if it's true or not, I did see the video from Wisconsin last night. My prediction is this. Tonight, Portland and Seattle and around the country, Black Lives Matter and Antifa will start riots over this guy getting shot that was resisting arrest repeatedly. You can see him resisting arrest on the video before they killed him. They're not going to let you go to your truck, get your gun, kill them, and then drive home and eat dinner. That's just not how it works, son. You don't resist arrest. You won't get killed. Pretty easy math. Some folks haven't been able to figure that out. They don't want to do what they're told to do when they're told to do it. And they suffer the consequences. Some are worse than others. Some die. I have not done what I should have done, but they didn't kill me. I may be crazy, but I ain't totally stupid. Listen, you folks have a blessed day. Our nation is just being ripped apart by these Democrats. I can't take it. You know, and every time you turn around, they're saying Trump's trying to divide us. Well, Trump ain't trying to kill unborn babies. You are. Kamala Harris said the only thing more precious than a newborn baby is the right to take its life. If that ain't the sickest wench statement I've ever heard in my life, I don't know what is. Nancy Pelosi's come pretty close. She loves killing babies too. All your Democrats are baby killers. You can't be a Democrat if you're not a baby killer. You either got to be true to God or Satan. Decision making 2020. We're either voting for God or for the devil. You folks have a blessed day. Please watch the Republican convention. You're going to see some guest speakers there, like the couple from St. Louis. You're going to see the young man that doesn't have to go to college now if he doesn't want to, and if he does, he can prepay for everything. Still plenty of money left over. Folks, we need to pull together. Watch our convention. It's going to be nice. It's in person. It's not viral. So it's going to be fun. I wished I could have afforded to gone out there and become part of it. Would like to have made history. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I keep forgetting I'm not on Facebook because they've been throwing me in jail every time I go on. Mark doesn't like a veteran, conservative, Christian Republican that likes to keep it real. Folks, have a blessed day. Pray for our nation along with our president. We're going to need it after this little incident was stupid in Wisconsin. And I call them stupid because when you resist arrest, that's just a category in my book you fall into. Stupid. Pretty much deserve what you're getting. Have a blessed day. We'll see you soon. I'll try to stay up on this and see what unfolds. It's like, hey, we've seen this movie before. You guys have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.